Hello class, welcome to this week's film making lesson. so I might I may not be here at Lewis College. I will be here in Boston, Massachusetts, USA to get through any attractions and stay at the Holiday Inn Express Hotel. Alright, so first we will be doing home video releases. On today, we will be doing Black Widow 2021 film by Jesse from Toy Story film. Here's a plot to this film. In 1995, super soldier Alexei Shostakovich and Black Widow Melina Vostokov work as Russian undercover agents, posing as a family in Ohio with Natasha Romanoff and Yelena Belova as their daughters. They steal SHIELD intel and escape to Cuba, where their boss, General Dreykov, has Romanoff and Belova taken to the Red Room for training. Years pass, during which Shostakovich is imprisoned in Russia while Romanov defects to SHIELD after bombing Dreykov's Budapest office and apparently killing him and his young daughter Antonia. In 2016, Romanov is a fugitive for violating the Sokovia Accords. She escapes from U.S. Secretary of State Thaddeus Ross and flees to a safe house in Norway, supplied by Rick Mason. Meanwhile, Belova kills a town rogue, former Black Widow, but comes into contact with a synthetic gas that neutralizes the Red Room's chemical mind control agent. Belova sends antidote vials to Romanoff, hoping she and the Avengers can free the other widows, and goes into hiding. When Romanoff is unknowingly driving with the vials in her car, Red Room agent Taskmaster attacks her. Romanoff escapes from Taskmaster and realizes that the vials came from Budapest, where there she finds Belova, who reveals that Dreykov is alive and the Red Room is still active. Black Widows and Taskmaster attack them, but Romanoff and Belova evade them and meet with Mason, who supplies them with a helicopter. Romanoff and Belova break Shostakovich out of prison to learn Dreykov's location, and he directs them to Vostokov, who lives on a farm outside St. Petersburg. There she is, refining the chemical mind control process used on the widows. Vostokov alerts Dreykov and his agents arrive to take them, but Romanov convinces Vostokov to help them, and the pair use face mask technology to switch places. At the Red Room, an aerial facility, Vostokov frees Shostakov and Belova from their restraints. Dreykov sees through Romanov's disguise and reveals that Taskmaster is Antonia, who suffered damage severe enough that Dreykov had to put the technology on her head. This made her the perfect soldier, capable of mimicking the actions of anyone who she sees. Romanov is unable to attack Dreykov due to a phenomenon, lock pheromone lock installed in every window, but negates this by breaking her own nose and severing a nerve in her nasal passage. Shostakov battles Taskmaster while the Vostokov takes out one of the facility's engines. They then lock Taskmaster in the cell. Dreykov escapes as other Black Widows attack Romanov, but Belova exposes them to the antidote. Romanov copies their locations and of other widows worldwide from Dreykov's computer as the facility begins to explode and fall. She retrieves two surviving antidote vials and frees Taskmaster from the locked cell. Vostokov and Shostakov escape via the plane while Belova takes out Dreykov's aircraft, killing him in free fall. Romanov gives Belova a parachute before battling Taskmaster. After landing, Romanov uses one Adote vial on Taskmaster and gives the other to Belova, along with the locations and of the other. Still mind controlled, widows so she can find and free them. Belova, Vostokov, and Shostakov say goodbye to Romanov and leave with Antonia and the freed widows. 2 weeks later, Manson supplies Romanov with a Quinjet to use in freeing the imprisoned inventors. In the post-credit scene, set after Romanov's death, Valentina Allegra de Fontaine blames her death on Clint Barton and assigns him as Belova's next target. Alright. On tomorrow, we will be doing the Boss Baby Family Business 2021 film. Here's a plot to this film. Set 30 years after the events of the first film, Tim Fulton is now fully grown and lives with his wife, Carol, and their two daughters, 8-year-old Tabitha and Infantina. Tim's younger brother, Ted Jr., is now a successful CEO and is never around. Instead sending lavish gifts to Tim and his family, Tabitha is exhibiting more grown-up behavior, and one night, while discouraged, Tim wonders about the person his daughter is becoming. He hears something from Tina's room. He discovers that Tina is a boss baby, just as Ted once was, and that she has been assigned to get Ted there for a special mission. Tim refuses to call, saying that he will never come, and encourages Tina to go back to sleep. However, Tina leaves to a fake voicemail for Ted, luring him into the Templeton's house. The next morning, Ted arrives and Tim tries to explain to him that Tina is a boss baby and Ted just does not remember that he was one too. Tina reveals herself as a boss baby to Ted and gives them both magic pacifiers to visit Baby Corp. Tina introduces the brothers to a new formula that will allow them to turn back to children for 48 hours in order to go undercover to Tabitha's school and figure out what Dr. Irwin Armstrong, founder and principal of the school, is planning behind parents' back. At the school, Tim, now as his old self, follows Tabitha to her class, while baby Ted is placed with other babies. Ted rallies the babies to help him get out of the playroom so that he can go to Armstrong's office to investigate. Tim tries to get sent to the principal's office as well by disrupting class, but is instead put in the box for his time out. Ted discovers that Armstrong is actually a baby himself, having run away from the home after realizing that he was smarter than his parents and now makes money by creating popular phone maps. His ultimate plan is to get rid of every parent on B-Day so that they cannot tell their children what to do anymore. After being unable to get a hold of Baby Corp and seeing that the brothers are once again drifting apart, Tina makes a show of quitting and says that they will complete the mission themselves. On the night of the holiday pageant, where Tabitha is supposed to sing a solo, and the brothers and Tina plan to expose Armstrong as a fraud. However, they learn that B-Day is set to happen that night through Armstrong's new app, QT Snap, which will hypnotize the parents into mindless zombies. Both Tim and Ted are caught by Armstrong's ninja babies and are put in the box, which slowly starts to fill with water. Tabitha sings her solo, but when she sees that has not showed up as he promised, she runs off the stage crying. She is consoled by Tina, who reveals her identity and her mission. Tabitha agrees to help her younger sister duplicating to the server and shutting down QT Snap before it can go worldwide. Ted is unable to call Precious, Tabitha's pet pony, into the school as she breaks them out of the box. Tim and Ted reach the server first, but they are stopped by Armstrong, who calls the zombie parents for backup, while the brothers holding them back as the formula starts to wear off. Tina and Tabitha get up to the server. Tabitha is unable to hack in and pull up the shutdown screen, but the keyboard is destroyed by Armstrong. The sisters then set off a candy volcano using Mentos and soda, destroying the servers and turning all parents back to normal. Tina then reveals that she never quit Baby Corp and that bringing Tim and Ted back together as their true mission. The whole Templeton family gathers to celebrate this Christmas, while Armstrong returns to his own family. All right. On on to on Wednesday, we will be doing Hansel and Gretel Hedge Hunters 2013 film. Here's a plot in this film. The film I see, there's extended cut. Okay, sorry. Wait, stop. Okay, the film begins with a classic fairy tale abandoned by their father in the forest. Young Hansel and Gretel enter a gingerbread house and are captured by a cannibalistic witch. The witch forces Hansel to continuously eat sweets and fatten him up and enslaves Gretel. The siblings outsmart her and incinerate her in the oven. In the 15 years that follow, Hansel and Gretel become famed witch hunters, slaying hundreds of witches. The pair are somehow immune to spells and curses, but the incident in the gingerbread house has left Hansel changed with a magic-induced form of diabetes. He needs a shot of insulin every a few hours, or he will die. Now adults, Hansel and Gretel will arrive in the town of Augsburg and prevent Sheriff Berenger from executing a beautiful young woman named Mina for witchcraft. Mayor N.G. Engelman has hired the siblings to rescue the town's mission children who are presumed abducted by witches. Berenger hires trackers for the same mission on the hopes of disgracing the mayor and cementing his power. Hansel and Gretel capture the foreign witch and discover that the witches are preparing for the coming blood moon, where they plan to sacrifice 12 children to gain immunity to fire. The greatest weakness, the Grand Witch, Mario attacks the tower with her army and abducts another child. She attacks Gretel, who is rescued by Ben, a local teenager, and a bit Ben of theirs. who plans to become the witch hunter himself. Hansel falls from the witch's broomstick and is lost in the forest. The next morning, Mina finds him stuck in the tree and takes him to a nearby spring where she heals his wounds and they make love in the healing waters in the spring. Gretel is attacked by Berengar and his posse, who beat her before being stopped by Muriel's troll, Edward. Edward kills Berengar and his men and tells Gretel that he helped her because trolls serve witches. Hansel and Gretel discover an abandoned cabin that they learn is a witch's lair and their childhood home. Muriel tells them the truth of their past. Hansel and Gretel's mother was a white witch named Adriana, who married a farmer, explaining the siblings' immunity to black magic. On the night of the last blood moon, Muriel planned to use the heart of the white witch to complete her potion. She found Adriana too powerful and decided to use Gretel's heart instead. To get rid of Adriana, she revealed to the townspeople that Adriana was a witch. The resulting angry mob burned her alive and hanged Hansel and Gretel's father, who had been trying to protect them by leaving them in the forest. The siblings battle Muriel before she stabs Hansel and attacks Gretel. To complete her long-due ceremony, Hansel wakes up with Mina, who reveals herself to be a white witch. She heals him again and uses a grimoire to bless his arsenal of weapons. Hansel, Mina, and Ben destruct the blood moon Sabbath. Mina slaughters the dark witches with a gating gun, while Hansel frees the children. Edward defies Muriel and releases Gretel before Muriel throws him off the cliff. Hansel, Ben, and Mina follow Muriel's trial to the original gingerbread house, now rotten and decayed. Muriel kills Mina before Hansel shoots her. The siblings engage Muriel in a brutal fight that ends with Gretel decapitating her with a shovel. They burn her body on a pyre and collect their reward for rescuing the children. In the end, they head out on their next witch hunt, now accompanied by Ben and Edward. During the credits, Hansel and Gretel slay a desert witch. Alright. On Thursday, we will be doing the Shawshank Redemption 1994 film. Here's a plot in this film. In 1947, Portland, Maine, banker Andy Dufresne is convicted of murdering his wife and her lover and is sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences. At the Shawshank State Prison, he is befriended by Alice Redding, an inmate and prison contraband smuggler serving a life sentence. Red procures a rock hammer and a large poster of Rita Hayworth for Andy. Assigned to work in the prison laundry, Andy is frequently sexually assaulted by the sisters and their leader Boggs. In 1949, Andy overhears the captain of the guards, Byron Hadley, complaining about being taxed on an inheritance, and other offers to help him shelter the money illegally. After an assault by the sisters nearly kills Andy, Hadley beats and cripples Boggs, who is subsequently transferred to another prison. Andy is not attacked again. Warden Samuel Norton meets Andy and resigns him to the prison library to assist elderly inmate Brooks Hadlin, a front to allow Andy to manage financial matters for other prison staff, guards from other prisons, and the warden himself. Andy begins writing weekly letters to the state legislature requesting funds to improve the prison's decaying library. Brooks is paroled in 1954. after serving 50 years, but he cannot adjust to the outside world and eventually hangs himself. The legislature sends a library donation that includes a recording of the marriage of Figaro, and he plays an excerpt over the public address system and is punished by solitary confinement after his release from solitary. And he explains that hope is what gets him through his time, a concept that Red dismisses. In 1963, Norton begins exploiting prison labor for public works, profiting by undercutting skilled labor costs as receiving bribes, and he launders the money using the alias Randall Stevens. Tommy Williams is incarcerated for burglary in 1965. Andy and Red befriend him, and Andy helps him pass his General Education Development (GED) exam. A year later, Tommy reveals to Red and Andy that his cellmate at another prison had claimed responsibility for the murders for which Andy was convicted. Andy approaches Norton with his information, but Norton refuses to listen, and when Andy mentions the money laundering, Norton sends him back to solitary confinement. Norton has Headley murder Tommy under the guise of an escape attempt. Andy attempts to discontinue the laundering, but relents after Norton threatens to destroy the library, remove Andy's protection from the guards, and move him to worse conditions. Andy is released from solitary confinement after 2 months, and he tells the skeptical Red that he dreams of living in Zihuatanejo, a Mexican coastal town. Andy also tells him of a specific hayfield near Buxton, asking Red, once he is released, to retrieve a package that Andy buried there. Red worries about Andy's well-being, especially when he learns Andy because asked to follow a made for 6 feet, 1.8 meters of rope. At the next day's roll call, the guards find Andy's cell empty, and an irate Norton throws a rock at a poster of Rico Welch hanging on the cell wall, revealing a tunnel that Andy dug with his rock hammer over the past 19 years. The previous night, Andy used the rope to escape through the tunnel and prison sewage pipe, taking Norton's suit, shoes, and ledger containing proof of the money laundering while guards search for him. Andy poses as Randall Stevens, withdraws over $370,000, equivalent to $2.595 million in 2020, of laundered money from several banks, and mails the ledger and other evidence of the corruption and murders at Shawshank to a local newspaper. State police arrive at Shawshank and take Hadley into custody, while Norton commits suicide to avoid arrest. The following year, Red is finally paroled after serving 40 years. He struggles to adapt to life outside prison and fears that he never will. Remembering his promise to Andy, he visits Buxton and finds a cache containing money and a letter asking him to come to Zihuatanejo. Red violates his parole by traveling to Fort Hancock, Texas, and crossing the border into Mexico, admitting that he finally feels hope. He finds Andy on a beach in Zihuatanejo, and the two reunited friends happily embrace. All right. On Friday, we will be doing Straight Outta Nowhere, Scooby-Doo Meets Courage the Cowardly Dog, 2021 film. Well, here's a crossover film. On June 22nd, 2021, Warner Brothers Animation will announce an animated direct-to-video crossover film for Scooby-Doo called Straight Outta Nowhere, Scooby-Doo Meets Courage the Cowardly Dog. The film follows Scooby-Doo and his friends finding a suspicious subject of nowhere, Kansas, where Courage and his owner reside. Marty Grabstein and Thea White, her final performance prior to her death, will reprise their roles as Courage and Mario, while Eustace will be voiced by Jeff Bergman due to the deaths of Lionel Wilson in 2003 and Arthur Anderson in 2016. The film is expected to be released on DVD and digital video on September 14, 2021. The film will also serve as the posthumous role for Thea White, who died 2 months before the film's release date. John R. Dialworth, the creator of the series, didn't have any involvement in this crossover. According to animator and artist Tracy Mark Lee, the film's original premise was originally pitched of it as an episode of Scooby-Doo and Guess Who. Alright. So, that's all the home video releases we got. So second, we will be doing TV series over home video releases. It is about Tari Tari in 2021. Alright, that's all the TV series over home releases we got on YouTube. So third, we will be doing Emma Monkey Pictures and Roy McHale Productions the Donkey Teeth comedy shorts. It is about Tom and Jerry. It is about Tom and Jerry catfishing in 1947. It was in February 22nd, 1947. Catfishing means Tom has to go fishing with Jerry, but Jerry loses grip, so the fish catches Jerry, and Jerry outsmart the cat by the fishes biting off his tail on Tom the cat's tail. And he screams. Alright. So that's all the shorts we got so far. We will be doing Samsung Galaxy S21 Plus 5G series. It is about Mei who is going to the school dance, and she is about to get the two flutists has to go with the dance. And the other girls had to go to the dance with Tari Tari and Selection Project along with Ian and Everest Stewart of the Abominable 2019 film. Alright. That's all I got for today. Let's do some work now. Say, do you know what? What? We should go to Boston, Massachusetts. Yeah, we should go there, huh? Yeah, we should go there. Okay. Well, how do we get there? We should get there by plane. Okay. So let's go then, okay? Okay. You come with me, guys. Okay, good.